Hello everyone and welcome to the Spanish side of the Pyrenees on what is a pretty wet and miserable day, to be honest, but I'm here hiking to the Cascada del Cinca and Cascada della Larry, a couple of really cool looking waterfalls. Cascada del Cinca is one of the tallest waterfalls in Europe, if not the tallest outside of Norway, 500 metre plus high falls. And I can just see glimpses of it up in the hills, and with all this rain around, it looks absolutely spectacular. So I'm going to be doing a loop of about 12 kilometres. That's going to take me to both the waterfalls and around this sort of valley. There is a bit of low mist and fog hanging around, but you can still see all the waterfalls and most of the mountain peaks through it. Kind of creates quite a moody atmospheric look, which is quite cool. So yeah, let's check it out. I'm just walking on the road a little ways because the car park only takes cash. I don't have any, so that's something to note. But you can sort of find a few shoulders on the road to park at. Anyways, let's check it out. So you can see a load of these like stringy waterfalls coming down. They're just all rain fed and they wouldn't like last overly long. But if you look up there, those three thick columns of water, that's the top of the Cascada del Cinca. The bottom's all kind of shrouded in that little cloud. But effectively those three segments come from the top of the mountain and then meet in the middle and then drop over in one massive plunge, which would be pretty spectacular. And hopefully this cloud clears so we can actually see it. Go across a little makeshift bridge and that's where the trail proper starts. Just unbelievable views here. Various trails and signs leading off, but pretty obvious. Cascada della Larry and Cascada del Cinca is where we're headed. Let's do it. First section of trail is sort of winding through the forest close to the river. There's various trails that kind of wind all over the shop, but it's not particularly hard to know where to go because every 50 metres is one of these signs. Not really sure why the Cascada della Larry is kind of the one that seems to be on the sign, because my understanding is it's by far the less significant of the waterfalls, but who knows, maybe it's just easier to get to. Crossing over the river and coming to this grandstand view of the Cascada del Cinca. A seriously mighty waterfall. That single drop is in the order of 200 metres and it's only a fraction of the total height. At a junction. Now the right way heads to Cascada della Larry. There's actually a waterfall through there which might be the Cascada della Larry. I thought there was the real ones were higher up like another valley further back, which they still might be. But I think we're going to come back that way. Initially we're going to head this way and we're going to make a big loop that's going to take us past Cascada del Cinca, across over to the valley where the upper section of Cascada della Larry are, and then down via the waterfall that's just in there. Let's do it. Seems I'm now following signs for Camino Mabore. I don't actually have any idea what that is, so hopefully it's the right way. But at this stage I think it is. So the Camino Mabore signs lead you towards Cascada del Cinca. Come to a junction here and following this sort of rocky trail for a while. Now we've been up this road. I think we're going to bypass it and head straight up the rocky trail again. Cascada del Cinca this way. Good sign we're going in the right direction, because I was a bit worried for a minute there because there's not a lot of landmarks around. Well, after best part of 25 minutes plodding along this fairly primitive trail, come to this grandstand view here of Cascada del Cinca. Absolutely monstrous waterfall. Probably hard to tell in the camera just how massive this thing is, but we're still a little ways off it. Hopefully we can get up close, get a bit of a better idea of the scale. Because way at the top of the mountain where the fall starts, and it's a very, very long way up. Anyway, let's keep getting closer. floating into what looks like a big old storm coming down. Hopefully not. It's just starting to get a bit chilly up here, but views just keep getting better. Coming into a junction now. Obviously Cascada del Sinca's off that way, so I'm going to follow this track up now to get up close to it. But then, the way back, I'm going to take this trail to Llanos de la Larry. I think Llanos might mean valley or something like that, because there's sort of a valley up there where there's a waterfall at the end of it, Cascada de la Larry. So yeah, Cascada de la Sinca, and then we'll head back this way on the way back. Wow, I've come out to the mirador for the Cascada del Sinca. Incredibly spectacular view. I mean, you can see behind me into the valley. That in itself is worth the hike, but I'll turn around and show you because it is just an unbelievably spectacular waterfall. This way, more amazing panoramas. In the end, it's taken me about an hour to get to this point at a pretty brisk pace, but it's not that far, it's just a lot of climbing from the car park. Kind of a deceptive amount of climbing because the falls look so huge, even from down at the bottom of the valley. You kind of miss how far you actually have to climb to get to the base of them. But it's been several hundred meters minimum of climbing, 100% worth it. Anyways, onwards and upwards. We're going to head back down to the valley towards the Cascadas de la Larry. Well, I pressed on a little further and came to this bridge over the creek. You can see the continuation of the trail on the other side. Amazing view of the waterfall. However, the bridge could use some work. Back into that junction from earlier. Off we go towards Llanos de la Larry. Unsurprisingly, this sort of link trail between the Cascada del Sinca and the Llanos de la Larry tracks is, I mean, as scenic as anything around. Look straight down there, see the hotel, which didn't actually go to, but walked past near the start of the walk. Be a pretty cool spot to stay, although I reckon pretty fancy schmancy, I would say. Alrighty, made it into the Llanos de la Larry. Beautiful looking meadows out here. The weather has really turned to shit here, but those waterfalls are calling me, so we press on. Love to see this on a clear day. I reckon there'll be some amazing mountain peaks up above there. But I'm not complaining, at least the waterfalls are clear. Sadly, it is absolutely pissing down, so the photos aren't going to be great, but I'm approaching the falls now. And they look really impressive, especially with these ephemeral side falls coming in from all this rain. There's some tiers higher up as well, which you can see further back down the valley, but not now, given we're a bit too close. I think I'm going to go with these falls are the Cascada de Llanos de la Larry, as opposed to the Cascades de la Larry lower down, just to differentiate the falls, which I think kind of go by the same name depending on which map and sign you look at. So naming these ones after the plain that they're at the end of seems to make sense. And all the signs here don't point to this waterfall, they point to the plain, the Llanos de la Larry. Anyways, naming aside, spectacular spot. Alright, made to the end of the valley. It's all pretty obvious where to go, well signed. Heading back down the hill now to complete the loop. Okay, so I've just come out of the forest, about a half-hour trek down. In hindsight, I definitely would have gone the Cascada del Lares on the way up, as I've now got about a 5 or 10 minute walk that way to see him, as opposed to literally like a minute. But still, let's go check it out anyway. We are at the hotel, which is nice to check out regardless. Quite a cool old building. Well, I've made it to the Cascades del Lares, and I've definitely made a mistake because there's a trail that runs down the river right side of the falls, which I assume leads all the way up to the top, and I just didn't notice it. So if you're coming here, your best bet in terms of making a loop is to try and look for that trail near the top of the waterfall, near where you're going into the plains, because that's going to lead you right down the side. And in terms of the falls, it's a really long series of cascades rather than any singular waterfall. Hard to get a good view, there's no bridge going across or good lookout. So I've climbed a little ways up to get the best view I can of some of the waterfall, and I'll give you a look. Nearly back at the start of the hike, so I figure I'll just wrap it up now. This is one of the great day hikes I've ever done, I'll be honest. The tallest waterfall in Spain, one of the tallest in Europe, at least 500 metres high, Cascada del Cinca. Plus, just even if that waterfall isn't there, it's be worth the hike. Because you got all the other waterfalls, the spectacular valley walls, and it's just an amazing day out. 12 kilometres seems about right, I think. Talking about 4 hours of walking, not including my little detour to get to Cascades del Lares at the end. But yeah, highly recommend. I'm hoping I find some more cool hikes on the Spanish side of the Pyrenees, but for now, that's it from me. I'll see you next time.